Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is W.T.F. Nation Radio.
Come on out, 1965, them boys were called upon. Some fist-fighting cowboys in them jungles of Vietnam. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Yeah, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double-cross me. 19 years old, doing the bidding for Uncle Sam. Desert boots strapped on my feet, machine gun in my head. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Come on now. 200 rounds I got strapped across my vest. 800 more and I'm gonna pluck one in your chest. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Oh, 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 I'm a mean motherfucker, so don't you never double cross me.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Oh, shit. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? How you guys doing today? We are, fuck it. We are, one day after Veterans Day. Some of us are, still, trying to recover, both physically and emotionally from Veterans Day. I bet that Applebee's didn't see that coming. You know, I was thinking about, because, okay, so real talk. Yesterday morning, I went to my son's middle school, and every year they do a program, Veterans Day program, and the band, the middle school band does a rendition of each service's song or hymn. And they ask, each veteran to stand up. Veterans of the Army stand up, and they play the Army song or the Marine Corps hymn or whatever. And I'm unique there that I served both in the Marine Corps and the Army. And so up, Heath, what's going on, buddy? So I get to stand twice, and it's very embarrassing. Because we live in a small little podunk town, and there's not there's a handful. Yesterday, in our little podunk town of like 10,000 people, there was probably about 100 vets there at the deal. And there's more, obviously, around town that didn't come. So it was cool. And, they come in and the kids read essays and the band plays and they do like sup, buddy? What's going on, Corey? Richard, how you guys doing? Heath, I'm the fat one. I'm the ugly one. At least I don't hide behind a fence. So actually, you know what, though? If I had a job that required anonymity, I would, but nobody really cares that much about me. Anyway, but the kids get a lot out of it, I think. The middle school, there was almost as many veterans as there was kids there this year. So, no, maybe not quite that many, but there's a lot of veterans there this year. And then we get free honey buns, or caramel rolls and cinnamon rolls and shit, coffee and some fellowship. And then I went to work. And I worked till late. Got home. Wife made me dinner. Went to bed. Actually, whoa, hold on. I didn't do that. That was the majority of my day. I came home last night and sat in the hot tub underneath the Northern Lights. That was fucking pretty tits. I live pretty far north, so we get the Northern Lights several times a year. 4 or 5 times a year at least, but usually not in town, and usually not that vibrant. And I was seeing people. We got people from all over the country that were showing them. From as far south as Louisiana, Texas. I think was the furthest south I saw. I don't know how far east and west they went. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean usually in town we don't get to see them because of the light pollution and stuff. You have to go out of town, but. I mean, to see him as vibrant in town with all the street lights and everything else, that was pretty crazy. My backyard's kind of dark compared to a lot of it, but you still get that glow. So, Heath, where are you moving to? He's moving with his work. Where are you moving to? Moving to South Dakota? Brother, you going to come hang out with me? Come, I'll take it to, I get free honey buns or cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls for Veterans Day. But, I remember... And actually, when I had, when I worked with veterans and we did that veterans program, the Veterans Work Program, several years ago, and I was on that, we would take the day and we would just smooze as much free shit as we could get, man. We'd go out for breakfast, and then we go to Golden Corral for lunch. And then we'd all get together and have like dinner before we got off work and shit. Dude, I think there was times in that I probably gained 30, 40 pounds on Veterans Day. It felt like just go home and go into a food coma. And then for several years, my wife and I would take my father-in-law to Applebee's. My father-in-law's a veteran as well, and we would go to Applebee's and he'd get that little whatever steak. Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville's a nice little town. That'd be a good time, dude. Brownsville's cool. When are you moving? When do you move? Thanks, Rob. Are you telling me to check out Dale? I'll check. Or did you take him? Anyway, yeah. So so that was a good time for Veterans Day, and I hope everyone did a little remembrance for their buddies or whatever. And we used to have a really cool deal. A buddy of mine has a farm in East River, South Dakota. He's actually my roommate in Iraq. And a bunch of us, we'd all fly in. We'd all drive in from all over the place. And we'd go to his little farm there. Little, I say little. He has like 3 sections he farms. And we'd go bird hunting. We'd all get together the weekend closest to Veterans Day. And, have way too many beers and go out and shoot pheasants and have a good time and shoot coyotes, whatever. Flies that dice kind of weekend, actually. But yeah, no, it was fun. We used to do that. And then as we did that for about the first 10 years when we got back from Iraq. And then as everyone kind of grew up, moved away, moved on, we kind of, quit drinking so heavily. It's a good time, though. It was a really good time. This year, I know a couple buddies of mine got invited to a golf thing in Lake Chicago. A handful of guys were going to that. I don't know. I said I don't know. What does everyone else do for cool? Does anyone have any cool like Veterans Day traditions or anything like that? Does anyone else do anything cool? I don't anymore. I'm old, and lazy, and boring. I actually really thought about going to that golf deal. I just couldn't get out of work. So, then next week, we won't be. There'll be no show next week. No smoke pit next week. Radar has to go run some errands. Radar has to go drive like literally halfway. I'm driving from here in western South Dakota all the way to Oregon. I have to drive to Eugene, Oregon. So it's like a 21, 22-hour drive in my 24-year-old pickup. It's going to be exciting. I'm moving my daughter back. She was going to school out there in Eugene and decided she is done and wants to move home. So she's been out there for like a year and a half. So I'm going to do that. So we'll have a no-show. I'll put it in the calendar and everything. But yeah. So that's what's going on in the old radar world. History got erased in World War II. African Americans got erased in Europe. The Republican Party took down African American status plaque down in the Netherlands. When was that? I thought I heard something about that, but I didn't hear anything like concrete about it. It was on it was on like a I heard about it through like a it's like a kind of a questionable thing popped up on my Facebook. I don't know. Some of that stuff I don't. It sounds like something that old Hegseth would do, but it also sounds fucking bullshit too. I hope they didn't. Because here's my thing with all that, and every there are certain units in the military that get a lot of press, right? I have a '96 Toyota T100. I'm scared to drive the far. Yeah, but I have a '99 or a 2002 F250 with a V10 in it. So I'm scared to drive that far. Anyway, back to the statue thing or the memorial thing. You know, there's some more illustrious units that get a lot of praise and a lot and decidedly so. You know, the 101st and Bastogne and you know all the units that came in on Omaha and in D-Day, and you know the Tuskegee Airmen and the 8th Air Force and all these units that, you know, really did do some crazy shit and really did earn their stripes, so to say. But a lot of those frontline units you hear a lot of about, you don't hear about the secondary, tertiary units who, you know, run and supply for them and were reinforcements and replacements and everything like that. You know, you hear a lot about the 101st of Bastogne, but you don't hear about, you know, a whole lot about the other units that were fighting in Belgium at the time. And so, I mean, I think that if there is a plaque or a statue or a memorial of any kind for any unit, that should be considered sacred, you know, and that shouldn't be fucked with. Yeah, the V10's hell. I know, dude. I'm like, fuck. Pull out the American Express card and just fucking. I mean, it's great because I get like 500 miles a tank, but it's like a 60-gallon tank. Fuck it. No, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, and I don't know how much is contextual and how much of it's 100% true or passed as a truth when it's a half truth. Don't want to defend I don't want to defend Pete Hegseth. I think he's trash, but I mean, maybe they were taking it down to clean it or repair it or something too. You know what I mean? And someone takes the story and runs with it. And I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't vet it. So I don't like commenting a whole lot on it. It does sound something like fucking dude would do. I did see that there was some Air Force personnel with 15 plus years of service. It was a class action lawsuit they were bringing against the Department of Defense because they're transgender and they were on the eve of retirement and they were removed from service. And now I know there was one guy, he was at like 19 and a half years or some shit. He was like seriously like 3 months from retiring, and they gave him the boot. And so there, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the military that I don't agree with right now, but that's, again, I'm not in. I think this is where I think this is a very interesting take for all of us who are veterans, okay? From all services. Because when I hear things like when Hegseth went on the generals, went off on them and used all the fucking buzzwords from like the late 90s, early 2000s military. We need to increase lethality and all that shit. And it reminded me of like the Pentagon Center of Excellence and shit. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like all of the buzzwords thrown into one fucking bingo drum. And he was pulling words out and reading them. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I want to. Part of what we do and part of what we did was we're supposed to make the military a better place for the up and coming troops, for the next generation, right? We're supposed to learn from our mistakes and drive forward, right? And create an environment that is conducive to the next war. The U.S. Army is really, really, really good at fighting the last war. And we are not the best at fighting the next war. And what I mean in that is, if you look at Ukraine right now and what is happening on the ground in Ukraine right now, we are not prepared to fight in that environment. The next major war that happens is going to involve drones and AI and autonomous vehicles. And we as a service are not, we as the Department of Defense, whether you're in the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, like, and any sort of combat arms environment, we are not ready to fight that war. We are not ready to fight that in that type of environment. We're not ready to fight that kind of enemy. And none of our peer adversaries are. I'd say China has probably taken the most lessons, and they're learning lessons from this war in Ukraine. And I think that we're starting to, I hope we're taking some of that intelligence and some of these observations from this current war, this current conflict, and applying it, because the next one's going to be compounded even further. And, yeah, technology would be next. Absolutely. And I remember all of those buzzwords like, oh, we need to be more technical and and we technically and tactically proficient. Okay. But are we training our troops to fly FPV drones? You know what I mean? Are we starting to establish this type of, I saw today or yesterday that Raytheon, or there is a specification put out by the Air Force for cheap interceptor missiles. And their cheap is $500,000 a piece. $500,000 a shot. That's not cheap, bruh. You can't send a $500,000 missile against a $500 drone. We have to figure out ways to defeat this at scale and at a certain cost. He said, I have one 12 and tank with gas. Yeah, dude, my fucking V12's my V10's quick and sounds good. And then I just watch my fucking fuel gauge. And it sucks even worse pulling a trailer when you're turning like $5,000 and it sounds like you can watch the valves dance on top of the heads. Anyway, but I feel like the Army isn't adapting to the current environment, the current threat environment. And we're regressing back. I'm not saying physical fitness isn't important. Not saying that. But I feel like Hegseth was that dude who got promoted only because he could run fast. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like that kind of sergeant. Even though I know I was a major or whatever, a captain or a major in the Guard, whatever. But when you look at guys who were actually smart and good at their jobs in a technical position, they maybe don't run a 300 PFT. But that's the dude I want to do my fucking pay. You know what I mean? That's the guy who I want to help me with my fucking taxes. I don't give a shit if he can do fucking 20 pull-ups or whatever. We have to, I think, and that's one thing I will say about the whatever last fitness test where they're trying to make it to where it's more combat. I don't even fucking know. They have a new PFT every fucking 2 weeks, it feels like now, and none of them are any fucking good. I'll figure it out. But I feel like we can't put too much emphasis on how fast you can run or how well you can shoot when that is no longer the battlefield environment we face. We need sharks of freaking laser beams. Yes, that's what the Navy and the Marine Corps need, not the Army. The Army can spare that. But we do need inexpensive countermeasures to drones, period. And maybe we do. Maybe we do have some electronic countermeasures that I don't know about because I'm not in. The last thing I remember, was cutting edge for me was like the Duke and the Warlock systems on the, on our trucks in Iraq. And that was fucking 15 years ago now. 19 years ago. So, and I understand in the last 15, 20 years that stuff has improved. I hope it has anyway. But, and how well that worked then, I imagine something similar would work now as they continue to improve the technology and shrink it. I know that that's one of the big things that technology is doing. It's shrinking. You know what I mean? So like a Duke system that was the size of my computer can now be the size of my phone. I get that. I understand how some of this works. Oh no, Brady says no laser beams. Freaking laser beams. Yes, we need laser beams. But I mean, like, but genuinely, like, they have like infrared weapons that can shoot down drones, and like, when you see it, it looks fucking ridiculous. It looks like there's no way that actually work. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But it seems like I remember fucking watching like there's that show was called Future Weapons. Remember that? And it was like they'd have like this fucking dude with like a flamethrower, but it was like shooting goo on people and like they're gonna stop people. Yeah, re-engineer a Duke system that affects drones. And like, dude, I'm set. Like I said, I haven't been in for a while, so maybe they are doing these things and I just don't see it. I don't see it, obviously, because I'm not in anymore, but I feel like that kind of stuff would work. But we're not training soldiers how to act and react. Same if you would have taken, say, a convoy escort team from 2007 and gave them a Duke, equipped all their trucks with Dukes and all the IED countermeasures we have, but don't take them through, any like IED lanes and teach them how to recognize what an IED looks like and how to, do all that stuff. How to react to fire. Like, we're just like taking all these fucking dudes and throwing them some shit, be like, hell, bye, see ya. But I don't know. I feel like peacetime. I feel like the military during peacetime is never a good place to be. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I came in 97. And in 1997, the Marine Corps was a whole different place than it was in 2001 after the towers fell. All that stupid bullshit, all the little fucking police that mustache, all that stuff was gone as soon as our boots were in the fucking sand. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's those peacetime leaders who are the police that mustache. Fucking, why can't you run faster? There's those types of peacetime leaders. And then there's the wartime leaders who see what's actually important and take care of their troops and like, hey, you've been out on the wire for fucking 3 days straight. Come back, get a shower, fucking take care of your shit. You know what I mean? Like, you have there's those two different, and they both excel in their environment. Like, I like to think that I was way better at fucking leading in combat or leading in downrange, where it was like, hey, we gotta take care of our shit. We're done with our shit. Go fucking grab some shower, grab a hot chow. I know we've been on the road for fucking 5 days. Hey, grab a fucking shower, grab some hot chow, fucking shit in a real toilet, brush your fucking teeth with running water, and feel better about yourself. Go fucking shave with hot water, feel fucking better about yourself. I won't fuck with you until I need to. And then peacetime leaders fail in that environment where they're constantly fucking with their guys. Constantly let's build this let's build this sidewalk out of pallets and plywood from the talk, and fucking maybe I'll get a bronze star out of it. No, fuck you. I hear that shit. You know what I mean? Those guys fail, but then when the war is over, when you get back to the fucking States, those are the guys that fucking, we need a PT every day. We need to fucking blah, 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 blah. And then you got guys like me, like, that's fucking dumb, dude. You know what it's like? We don't got to, what? We're going to fall in on trucks there. What are we fucking making sure our trucks are brand fucking new? We're going to fall in on new trucks when we get downrange. How many MRAPs are here? We're falling on downrange. And so, like, I was not a good leader when we came back to garrison. And I think that when you have too much of one or the other, you fuck with dudes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think you fuck with Joes when it's too much. Mike said they found out from Desert Storm that the soldiers weren't trained, and that's why they pushed training. Which training, though? Like physical training or like what? Mark said the Army's lacking in terms of taking on specific equipment and tactics. It really seems like it's a lot of, well, you should know this as opposed to actual hands-on specific training tactics. Yes, exactly. I think that I think that kind of passing of the buck, right? It's like baseball. Okay? If you don't teach a kid how to properly field a ground ball when like Pee-wee, like a fucking, a high school coach or a Legion ball coach isn't going to teach a kid how to field a fucking ball. You should already know that. And I think that, I don't know when these things should happen, whether it should be at fucking AIT, whether it should be at fucking boot camp, whether it should be, small unit training, like when these things should happen, right? But I feel like that's where we're lacking these things. Everyone looks at, well, you should know how to do that. Well, I don't know how to do that. That's why there's fucking training. And I think that when we take out too much of the training calendar to focus on we take out too much of the training calendar to focus on fucking dumb shit, we don't get to actually fucking train. Right? And that's where I agree with some of these new policies going out. We're not going to fucking worry about this. We're not going to worry about this. But here's the thing. We need to have sexual harassment training because fucking motherfuckers won't quit sexually harassing people. We need to have sexual assault training because people can't quit fucking sexually assaulting people. People can't quit beating their fucking wives. People can't quit fucking doing this dumb shit. So we have to fucking do this. We have to have these trainings because fucking Joes can't quit fucking doing dumb shit. And it's not because of fucking DEI. It's because people can't fucking quit beating their wives. People can't quit fucking maxing out their government travel card at the fucking strip club or whatever the fuck it is. So we got to have a fucking training on it to make sure that you fucking know you're not supposed to fucking do that. I didn't know I couldn't. I didn't know I couldn't fucking stick my dick in her. Yeah, you fucking did. Well, I never got any training, so I aren't. Okay, well, fucking here we go. 70% of the shit I learned in the Army was just me just fucking up and figuring it out myself. Even then, it's not the highest standard because I was never taught it. And that's so true, Marcus, but it's also sad as fuck. It's also sad as fuck. Like, fuck, I don't know what your MOS was, okay? Like, I was a mechanic. Right? I was a helicopter mechanic. Then I got out and then I was a 13 Fox for a while, then I went to fucking mechanic school. I was 62 Bravo. They got rid of that, now it's like 91 Lima or something. I don't know, fuck it used to be heavy construction equipment mechanic. 19 kilos, so you did plenty of that shit too. But you also got to shoot tanks, so that's cool. But anyway, so you should have had some fucking, your dudes that showed you how to fucking do shit. But that you do learn, I do agree that you learn more by fucking up. But you should be able to fucking, you should have had, your fucking, crew chief or tank, what do they call that on a tank commander? The tank commander should have fucking took you on his little wing and fucking, hey there, Private Marcus, let's do this. And then your specialist Marcus, you're training people. Like, I really believe that the two ways that somebody learns is fucking up and then teaching somebody else. I learned that stuff a long fucking time ago, that as a leader, if you want to grow, teach. Fuck up, then teach. Because you can teach so much better when you fucked up. Can you say, hey, I've tried this. Don't do it. You'll fuck it up. And I think there's something freeing about that to other Joes. And you say, hey man, that doesn't work, bruh. That doesn't work. We can try it. You can try it if you want, but I'm telling you, you're gonna fuck it up. And there's something to be said about that, and then that's cool. But I don't know. I look at the shit that we're doing now, and it's like, fuck it. But like you said, you can't. dudes could quit fucking raping chicks and dudes quit fucking spend their GTC money. I mean, I'm so glad I'm out now, dude. I don't want to see fucking everyone's GTC cards after fucking 2 months of shutdown. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. That. Anyway. Oh shit. Well, I don't know. It's been a bumpy ride, man. I'm an instructor now and don't hold back on telling people my fuck ups and I'll be better. Abso-fucking-lutely. And that's the way it should be, dude. That's the way it should be. There is nothing worse than an instructor who's not a fuck up. I remember the best fucking instructor I had, and this guy was fucking. So when I was in aviation, like I said, I was in aviation in the Marine Corps. And so I graduated boot camp, went for the Marine Corps. You go to what's called Marine Combat Training. It's like another month of combat training. And then after Marine Combat Training, you go to your A school, which is like AIT kind of. You have A school and C school in aviation. And A school teaches you like the basics, right? I went to Aircraft Metalsmith School in Pensacola, Florida. And got to Pensacola, and I had this dude, the staff sergeant there. Dude was old. Looked like Barney Fife. That's what this dude looked like. He was old and skinny with and he was like balding. So he had like a high and tight, but it was like bald in the middle, so it looked like a horseshoe kind of, but it was just, it was not a good look on this dude, but he looked disheveled. Dude had been divorced like 3 times, was on his like 4th DUI, and this is before they wouldn't kick you out. Back in the 90s, they wouldn't kick you out for having DUIs, but you were never getting promoted. This guy was going to be a staff sergeant for life. He was never picking up gunnery sergeant. Dude had like 18 years in, was never fucking picking up E7, dude. This guy was just going to fucking retire and pay his alimony and child support to his 3 ex-wives and fucking drink his sorrows away. And that dude had the best stories, man. The best fucking advice. And we would go, and Pensacola's a Navy town. Pensacola, so if you're a Marine in a Navy town, depending on the bar, they either loved you or fucking hated you. And he'd be like, this dude, man, he'd be like, yeah, you just go in there, there's a bunch of fucking squids, be ready to fight. There's a bunch of bitches, be ready to fuck. And we're like, yes, I love this dude. Oh, that guy was awesome. I always had the best fucking, go fat early and beat the rush. That was from him. So, you can wait until 2 a.m. and try to take home a fat bitch. You're going to have competition. If all these fucking dudes have been striking out all night, you go up to that fat bitch at like 9:30, buy her a couple drinks, you can have her home by 11, in bed by 11:30, baby. It's great. Yeah. Go fat early and beat the rush. Oh, shit. That was good times, man. I wonder what happened to that dude. Because he would have got out. That was what, 98 when I was there? Dude had like 2 or 3 years left, so he probably got out before 9/11 and probably just fucking finished his time and, I don't know, moved back to wherever he's from, and he's probably a fucking fat bitch. He's probably married 2 more times or something by now. I don't know. But I think you get a certain rapport with people, and this carries over to civilian life too. I know I've carried this into my civilian life of being able to be honest with my mistakes and honest with my shortcomings, and it makes me a better leader. It makes me a better leader in the civilian world. It makes me a better leader to my kids, better father. To be able to address my shortcomings and grow. I'm sure if my wife says this, she'll be like, "You're a fucking shithead." There's no way, and it's true. I am a shithead, but I don't know. It's probably a really good spot. Marcus, if you can be an instructor and be like, yeah, yep, I'm cool. Oh shit. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm fucking. I don't feel the best, if I'm honest. I'm like burping up dinner. I'm ready to. I need to wrap things up a little early. I didn't get enough Applebee's yesterday. Let me see here if we have had anything cool in the calendar here. I really should get better at doing this. Do my job before I fucking sit down. I am bad at my life. It's probably in fucking Discord now. Is it Discord? Maybe? I don't fucking know. Oh, this is way different. I don't even know what I'm doing now. Fuck it. Well, if we have any guests, that's someone else to tell you about it. Well, I'm real bad at this job. Anyway. Yeah, dude, I might throw up. I'll be done. Give me a beer or something. But it's been a pleasure having you guys on with me tonight. Thanks for coming out to the Smoke Pit. We are here every Wednesday. I'm on after the sports bar. They're on before me, and then I'm after. Little doubleheader o events. Tomorrow is Thursday night, and will be sergeant time. There'll be sergeanting. Ice and Spanky will be bringing you all the good sergeanting events. Then this weekend we have the gamer kids coming in playing some games. Monday is a Monday edition with Ice, doing all things current events. That's a fun show. It's the edition that happens every Monday. You should be here for it. Tuesday's Pop Culture War with CQ. And then early, got the sports bar. Keep wanting to say the sports book because I'm bookie. But it's a sports bar, the coach and King Smith. And then back here with me on the second show on Wednesday nights. I do appreciate you guys being here. It's been a fun night. I just don't feel great, and I don't make you guys sick. So, I will see you guys all not next week. Next week I'll be gone, so I'll be back in 2 weeks. The Thursday before Thanksgiving, or the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I talk to you while you're on your 96, or getting ready for it. So, but I appreciate you guys being here so much. I really do. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see everybody next week, I think. Right? Next week? No, 2 weeks. God, I'm really bad at my job. All right, thanks for coming on up. I'll talk to you guys later. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Well, I guess I was born with a gun in my hand. We'd walk the big clear cuts in the pine timberland. Well, the army man told me that I could defend the free. Oh, and draw me a paycheck and get a tech school degree. I said, hey now, Sergeant, that sure does sound fine. Well, the sawmill ain't hiring. Tell me, where do I sign? Won't you light a lantern for me? I'll be gone, but not long. Won't you keep a candle burning? Won't you leave the porch light on? Well, my hands are still steady, and they still hold a gun. And this is the suit of a soldier for your southeastern sun. Well, tell Mom not to worry if she's taking it hard. Never thought I'd see action back when I joined the Guard. Well, all this will be over more later than soon, as a road and a letter beneath the big Afghan moon. Won't you lie?